Hi bunny lovers, my name is Cosette and I am Oliver's bunny mum, and I thought it would be fun to jump on here and just do a little bit of a video about some incredible bunny things that you can find at Kmart. So here in Australia, we are a little bit more limited in terms of some of the products that are available for bunnies, both in the UK and the US, that are huge successes, but we just don't have access to them here. So I thought that I would do something that's a little bit more helpful to us as local Aussie bunny mums, particularly as we are currently in lockdown, and Kmart is a really great resource because they deliver and do click and collect. So I thought it might be helpful for those who aren't able to go in and check out the products in person, and just give you an idea of what they're like, whether I recommend them, and whether Oliver loves them, which really is the most important thing. I'd like to mention as well that there are so many incredible products at Kmart available that you can make such great use of for your rabbits. These are just the ones that we've picked up and that we've loved and that I can honestly review. But if you've got any other favorites, do let us know. I should mention this video is not sponsored. It is just an absolute show of my love and gratitude to Kmart because they have been such an incredible resource for lots of goodies for Oliver that he loves, that I love, and that just fit really well into our lifestyle. Let's get straight into it. So the first thing that all bunnies love are treats. Now I think that there are some really great treats available, both from larger brands like Oxbow, as well as so many amazing local brands on Etsy, and just small businesses available on Instagram. And as much as, you know, sometimes their packaging is beautiful, I do think that it's nice to kind of have something a little bit more subtle that you can keep on your kitchen bench, and that just blends in with the rest of the decor in your kitchen. So you can't go wrong with a good old mason jar. Now these are some treats that we picked up from Oxbow, but obviously you can put anything you like in them, homemade treats. But I just think that these look really nice on a bench, and they're easily picked up from Kmart. So the next thing, in their kitchenware section, I picked up a couple of these bowls. Now I believe these are meant for, you know, dipping sauces or small side dishes, but I just think they're adorable. They've got this very cute little speckle pattern. I've got two of these, one for Oliver's food and one for his water. Now we do work from home and are able to change his water very regularly. Obviously, if you are away from the house for a little bit longer, these might be a bit small for the water, and therefore you might consider something bigger, but for our purposes, we're able to keep it fresh throughout the day, and so it does a really great job. The next thing Oliver is not a very big fan of, but I am, and that is this carrier. So there's a few really great things that I love about this carrier. One is that it actually collapses down really small, so you can tuck it away under a couch or in a closet, not a problem. It's an amazing size, so I can actually really easily fit in a little pet bed, so it's nice and cozy. You can put blankets, you can put a towel to make it nice and snug for your rabbit, but they've still got lots of room to move around and just get comfortable. I also love that it's not a hard plastic, but it's still very solid. I just think it's a little bit cozier for them. Up next, we have one that I think is adorable, which is their cat teepee. But as I'm sure many of you know, there are so many cat toys that are perfectly appropriate for rabbits because there are so few toys that are actually made for our little bunny friends. But this is a great one. It makes an excellent hidey house. Its color scheme is adorable, so it will match just about any decor. It's very subtle in this just black and white stripe. I've put in a little blankie for him to make it nice and extra cozy, and he can dig at that, and it's just nice for him. But otherwise it's just got this white padded little insert to be nice and cozy. But that's a great one. Oliver absolutely loves having some afternoon naps in there. I'll insert a couple of photos just for some added cute content. But yes, absolutely recommend that one. I know that there are a lot of really great little cat hidey houses available at Kmart, and I know I've seen a lot of them used by rabbits, but this one I think is just a winner. Another honorable mention for hidey houses from Kmart is this gray one, which I'll insert a cutaway from. It was a favorite of Oliver's when he first moved in. I think because it really gave him some privacy when he was still trying to figure out his new environment and just trying to get used to the space. It was a nice little place for him to feel really safe. He doesn't really use it quite as much anymore, maybe because he's got too many options because he's a spoiled boy. It's got a kind of cute mid-century modern look to it, which, you know, fits into most people's decor pretty well. So it's a nice little hidey house that's not too much of an eyesore, particularly if you have a free roaming rabbit like we do, and you're trying to keep the bunny space still, you know, working into your style in your living area. So that one is also perfectly great, it's just not his favorite. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is bunny proofing. Now, any of us who have rabbits certainly know that if there is a will, there's a way. They will find their way to cables and any number of other things you don't want them to get to. So bunny proofing really is an art that is mastered over time. But I have found some incredible options at Kmart. I'll insert some cutaways because obviously I don't want to undo all the work that we've done for the sake of a video, and I think it's better to show it in action anyway. So I will include some images now of some of the storage boxes that we've used to really just keep our wires safe. Obviously we've gotten a lot of tubing from places like IKEA or Bunnings, and there's some really great solutions out there, and I'm sure I'll do another video at some point about bunny proofing and what we've done, but these are a few really great ones from Kmart. Now, if any of you are gamers, or you have a partner who's a gamer, or a child in your house who is, you'll know that there is going to be a rat's nest of wires somewhere in your house in that gaming corner. And so my partner definitely has that space in our small apartment, and so if we can make it work, I absolutely believe that you can too. So the next thing are pee pads. So Oliver is litter trained, and for those who aren't aware, it's pretty easy to litter train a rabbit. They are generally pretty clean animals. Yes, they will make a mess of their hay everywhere, but in terms of their actual toilet behavior, we found that Oliver picked that up pretty quickly. But obviously, you know, being a free roam rabbit, his litter box is sort of in a main area of the house. Now, are these the greatest pee pads in the world? Probably not, but I will say, if you're on a budget, they do the trick. You get 100 of these in a packet. I believe they were about $25, but I'll confirm that on the screen for you. I really can't complain. We change the litter box every second day, so we do go through these pretty quickly. And I do find relative to what's sold at the pet store, which, you know, might be $10 for 10 pads, it's just a lot of coin on something that really isn't the most important step in the world, but is nice to have in the litter tray. Now, I'm generally trying to keep this video pretty positive because I have to say nothing that I've really purchased from Kmart for Oliver has really been terrible. Everything has been pretty good, and I've been really, really happy for the value and the price. So this is just a quick word to the wise in case it's something that you were looking at. Before we got Oliver, we set up his little litter area and thought that this would be fine, just given it was sold for cats, and I figured it might be sort of comparable. And so this is the basic litter tray that they sell at Kmart. If that's something that you are looking at, I personally wouldn't recommend it. Kmart does sell some bigger litter trays that have, you know, higher walls. We've purchased one from elsewhere, but similar concept to the one that they have at Kmart as well. I would highly recommend you get something taller. The reason being, unlike with a cat's litter box, which really just gets filled with the litter itself, we have Oliver's hay feeder right above his litter tray, which is very helpful with litter training. And it means that ultimately his litter box is getting full to the brim with hay. And so by the time we change it, it's pretty full. And what that means is that, you know, if he angles his little body ever so slightly the wrong way, you might have accidents over the side of the box, despite the animal being perfectly well litter trained. So they just don't have a great sense of spatial awareness when it comes to where they're spraying, and I just think that it's a lot less stressful to have some higher walls, so you've got no chance of that happening, and they're perfectly happy to hop in and out of them. They've got great legs for hopping, so it's not a problem. The next thing is in the grooming category. Now, Kmart actually sells quite a variety of grooming brushes for cats and dogs, and we just bought this, I believe it was $4. It's just a little flea comb. And actually, shout out to Lennon the bunny. I followed her little DIY tutorial on how to basically make your own Furminator, and it works an absolute dream. All I did was really just weave some elastic band around the little teeth of the comb. As you can see, there's heaps of hair stuck to it. So it really does do an incredible job of just getting that hair out, particularly right now during molting season. I'm sure I'm not alone in the crazy amount of hair that is everywhere in my house. But you know, it does come with the territory, and being able to help them out with that daily brushing is really crucial. So that's a really great one. So last but not least is Oliver's X Pen. So we purchased this before we got him when we were trying to get his little space set up. We love this because it can tuck away really nicely in a corner of our living room, but also travels really well. Being in lockdown in Victoria, we have not had the opportunity to travel in the time that we've had Oliver, but just looking forward to some potential, short trips to see family, etc. We can definitely see that this is going to be a really great little travel pen that we can easily fold down into the car and set back up again wherever we are. If you have a bunny that is very rambunctious and that absolutely hates being in their enclosure and throws it around, this is probably not the pen for you. We have found that if Oliver is in his pen and we're in the room, he gets a bit frantic and might try to throw it around, but he really only is in there at night, and we're in a separate room, and then he goes completely quiet and just sleeps the whole night. So maybe we're just very lucky, but we haven't found that to be a problem in our particular case. So for our purposes, it's been great. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, please make sure to like this video, leave a comment letting us know what sort of content you'd like to see in the future, and give Oliver's Instagram page a little follow. We'd love to follow you back and really engage with the other local Aussie bunnies and beyond. As you can tell, I'm not Australian. I do live here and have lived here for a few years now, but I am originally from Canada, so I would love to hear some other opinions of some great bunny stuff that's maybe available worldwide, or just things that you guys love. So let us know what you'd like to see in the future, and bye for now.